Hey, welcome to the Troxfit podcast, the show where we break down the fitness and nutrition of big-time athletes and big names, and break down other important fitness topics as well. In today's episode, we're going to break down Ja Morant, how he trains, how he eats, all the good stuff of this really exciting NBA player. After that, I'm going to talk about 3 topics. I wrote articles about them this week. You can check that out in the description. Those being exercises to burn belly fat at home, extreme weight loss methods that you should avoid, and also the best fruits for dieting because we all love fruit. And with that out of the way, let's get right into it. Okay, so Ja Morant is a 22-year-old point guard for the Memphis Grizzlies. He plays in the NBA and he was selected 2nd overall out of 60 players in his draft class. This is only his 3rd year in the NBA and he's already an NBA All-Star starter. He's also a very big fan favorite because he is so exciting to watch. He's explosive and he will dunk on anybody in the league. It's pretty crazy and outstanding to watch sometimes. All right, so what are Ja Morant's measurements? I already mentioned that he's 22, but he also stands at 6'3" and he's very, very lean at 174. You won't be surprised when looking at him, that's what he weighs. He kind of looks the part. But in June of 2020, I believe, he tweeted that he gained 12 pounds. So he might be closer to 190, a little on the skinnier side, but definitely a lot bulkier. For example, Russell Westbrook, who's the same height as him, plays point guard as well. He is listed a little above 200, and he's a pretty big dude. And athletically, this is where he just jumps off the page quite literally. So there's a video out there posted recently by Sports Science. You can find it on the ESPN YouTube channel, I believe. But he has a max vertical of 44 inches, which is 8 inches higher than NBA average, which is 36, already being a lot. This guy is constantly flying above the rim, going for crazy dunks, and his vertical leap is such a nasty move of his that he just is unstoppable once he gets near the rim. Another interesting thing I saw from that video is that he has a takeoff speed of 20.3 miles per hour. An average Olympic athlete, long distance jumper, has an average jumping speed of 21 miles per hour. He's almost on par with that, and that's not even his sport. And then the last little measurement note I want to make up from the Sports Science video and for this little category as well is that he can dunk, theoretically, according to the video, a foot behind the free throw line, which is nuts. If you want to go out there, measure your nearest basketball court, it seems impossible, but he can do it. Now that you know that he's pretty crazy athletically, how exactly does he get that done? What is his training like? Well, of course, he has his basketball training that he goes through with his team by himself and all that. A lot of that includes dribbling, ball handling, finishing through contact, that kind of stuff. If you're not a basketball person, you're not really going to know what most of that means. But it just means that he's working on his craft and he's really good at it. So he must be working. But what about his actual workout routine? How does he lift weights? What does he do? Okay, so I found a routine online by fitnessreaper.com. I haven't seen actually a lot of information about his training other than little clips and videos and that kind of stuff. But this seems pretty accurate from the clips that I saw. So according to this, Monday he does back, biceps, triceps, push-ups for chest, and all of that is mostly cable work. Tuesday, he does cardio, HIIT training, and a lot of core work. And then moving on to Wednesday, he goes to do some back stuff with cables, lower work with barbells and dumbbells, and handstand push-ups, which is impressive in itself. And then following that is Thursday, which he does a lot of free weight stuff, cables, unilateral work, legs again, shoulder, and triceps. Finally, Friday, he finishes that with bicep work, backs, push-up, cardio, and legs yet again. Then on the weekend, according to this, he likes to do stuff like swimming, playing basketball, a lot of sports stuff, mostly cardio then. So what's interesting about this, it's not surprising looking at the type of player he is and that he plays basketball, but he doesn't get a lot of chest in. The only chest stuff that I saw was one clip of him benching, which didn't look like a lot of weight. They even clipped out most of the barbell, so you only saw him benching. But a lot of push-up stuff. So, that kind of stuff is good for body control, the handstand stuff, all that, but he doesn't have a lot of chest. He doesn't really need it in basketball, which isn't a big deal. I just thought that was interesting that it's not really there. Then he does a lot of body control stuff, like I mentioned, unilateral work, working on each side of the body, so not developing any muscle imbalances. You know, a lot of mind-muscle connection, which he's going to need when he's out there on the court, just flying to the rim, that kind of stuff. And then no one's going to be surprised that he does a lot of squatting variations. I mean, this guy can jump out of the gym, so he's out there doing unilateral lunges with barbells, dumbbells. He's squatting a lot. And from what I've read, all of these movements, they're a lower rep, 1 to 10 reps, like power movements. Everything does is power, which is just like when he's playing. If you watch him, it's kind of scary sometimes. You think he's going to get injured, like another guy in the past, just like him, Derrick Rose, very explosive athlete. But he put his body into all of his movements, just like Ja Morant. And he got injured very, very frequently, and basically ended his superstar part of his career. So yeah, that's what I found about how Ja Morant pretty much trains. It's a lot of stuff that applies to basketball, not a lot of wasted effort for things that aren't going to really help him. It makes sense because he's improved a lot in his third year in the NBA. He's an all-star. He is jumping up in efficiency, how he's shooting. He's defending better. He's just an overall better player. And a lot of that comes from stuff like this, all the work. And then when we move on to the nutrition side of things, things get a little murky. This is a part of his, about him I couldn't find a lot of, but I did find that he doesn't seem very strict in videos, like a little cookout him and his family did, a House of Highlights video where they meet him in the morning. It's nothing too crazy. It's like, you know, mashed potatoes, a lot of family foods, you know, that kind of stuff. Not very strict there. As an NBA athlete, though, I'm going to imagine he likes to try to keep things balanced. He's going to do things, of course, like eating a lot of proteins, veggies, fruits, healthy fats, that kind of stuff. I mean, the team isn't just going to let him eat like nothing, you know, whatever he wants all the time. They're going to try to point him in a certain direction, maybe not try to control him, but, you know, some advice here or there, because they're hoping he's going to last well into his 30s and not break down. I did find something very, very cool. So we mentioned that he is 6'3", approximately 175, maybe all the way to 190, if what he said is true. If you plug that into a calorie calculator, put the energy level on the calculator to all the way up, you know, because he's a basketball player, trains a lot. So he's going to be moving a lot, burning a lot of calories. To maintain his weight, it's going to be between 3,200 calories and 3,400 calories every single day that he needs to consume. So, you know, it's not surprising that he's a skinnier guy. It's going to be pretty hard to put on that weight when you need to put that much in your body just to stay where you're at. Yeah, that's pretty much how Ja Morant trains and what I know of how he eats. But I don't want to end it there because this guy is special. There's a little backstory that I think is important to know about him. His parents, they were athletes as well. His mom being a point guard in high school and a softball player in college. His dad actually was semi-pro. He was considering going professional overseas, but when his wife, or girlfriend at the time, I'm not very sure, was pregnant with Ja, he gave up on that. He became a barber, and he chose his family over what could have been, you know, his dream, which I thought was really cool. And he spent a lot of time, of course, when Ja was younger, training him. He did stuff in the backyard. You know, this is what probably drove that work ethic in Ja and his explosiveness from a very young age. They got things like tractor tires, which he practiced jumping in and stuff like that, to develop all those things early. But that's not where the story ends, because Ja was not even ranked as a top athlete in his sports. He wasn't listed in ESPN, all that kind of stuff, but he was still the second overall pick in the NBA. How does that exactly work? He wasn't going to go to any big-time college or anything. Well, one time, a Murray State assistant coach for the basketball was recruiting a completely different player, didn't even know Ja existed, and went to go see him at a, I guess, a shoot-around, you know, practice, a camp maybe. But besides the point, that assistant coach happened to get hungry and wanted to get a snack. He went to a vending machine to get a bag of chips, and on his way back, he happened to see Ja in a completely separate gym playing 3-on-3. He was very impressed by what he saw, all that work was showing off, and he gave him a scholarship offer. Next thing you know, he's in the NBA playing next to LeBron James as a starter in the All-Star game. So if you want to train like Morant, maybe you can be pretty good at basketball too. All right, that's our athlete for today's podcast. Now we're just going to jump into the next topics at hand. First one being exercises to burn belly fat at home. We're going to take a little pause here because I just want to mention that I do have a free workout plan that you can find on my website. If you don't know where to start, if you're a beginner or you just need to relax from all that intensity that you've been doing in the gym lately, this is perfect for you. It's called my Foundations Plan. It's sent straight to your email. It's about body control, unilateral stuff, recovery. It's about fixing your muscle imbalances, that kind of stuff. So if you want to check that out, check it in the description. Anyways, back to the podcast. Why do you actually want to get rid of belly fat? There's two types of fats. There's subcutaneous fat, which sits right under the skin at the top of your belly. It's a lot of the visual stuff. But underneath that is something called visceral fat. This is called active fat because it doesn't just sit there, okay? It actually produces hormones that's bad for your body. It's linked to diseases like type 2 diabetes, cancers, maybe even causes you to have a stroke, that kind of stuff. That's why you should be getting rid of belly fat. But it's easier said than done for a lot of reasons. It's hard because spot reduction isn't possible. If you want to get rid of belly fat, aside from surgery, you got to reduce your entire body fat all over your body, which is a good thing because imagine having, a skinny waist, but like your arms are a little on the chubbier side, that kind of stuff. It looks disproportionate. It doesn't look right. And then, of course, we live in an age where food choices always come down to, hey, I can have something at home. I can take the time to prepare it. It might not be as good or as fast as something I get on the road because those things are designed to be addictive, delicious, and they're very high in calories, added sugars, trans fat, all those things that accumulate to an unhealthy lifestyle. And then your body does actually want that visceral fat there, at least a little bit, because it does an important job of protecting your organs because it surrounds them and it gives them a cushion. Finally, we live in a stressful world where everyone is stressed. That cortisol released from stress creates bad habits, and it's been linked to belly fat. I attribute it to more of the bad habits, things like bad sleep schedule, exhaustion, all those things leading you to, want a sugary treat as a pick-me-up. Bad eating habits. All right, you know why it's bad. You know why you should get rid of it and all that kind of stuff, why it's hard. But how do you measure your progress before we actually get into how to get rid of it? Well, there's three things I want to do here. You can go BMI, your body mass index. Not the most favorited thing in the world, but it's a good general idea of where you should be. It's a chart, and it tells you based on your height what kind of weight you should be at. Very general, but a good starting point at least. Next, you can do a body fat percentage. Very cheap way to do that is to get body fat calipers. I have some that are like $10, got them off of Amazon. You can check that out in the description, affiliate link, whatever. But anyways, they give you brief instructions, very easy to use. Just do it consistently at the same time by the same person to get your body fat percentage. Last piece, directly related to this, is you can actually measure with a measuring tape your waist. That's going to tell you, did my waist go down? Am I reducing belly fat? Very directly, very visually important for those that really want to see their progress. All right, so what exercises can you do to burn belly fat at home? Well, first, of course, aerobic exercises. It's a very easy way to up your energy output to create a bigger calorie deficit and lose the weight, thus fat. I have a list here of very high calorie burning movements. They're all based on 10 minutes on about a 180 pound person. So it's going to vary a little different based on your measurements. Jumping jacks, they burn 90 calories per 10. Jumping rope, they burn 170 calories per 10, and you actually feel pretty cool because you can do the little variations, all that kind of stuff, look like a boxer if you want to, whatever. Next up is mountain climbers. They're pretty intense, 114 calories per 10 minutes, and they make you feel like you're working. And then of course, burpees. Burpees are a pain in the ass for a lot of people, 110 calories per 10 minutes, but they're fun. They make you feel like an athlete. They're power movements. You can see them a lot in gym classes, that kind of stuff, boot camps. Then next is high knees. If you don't like doing jogging in place or anything like that, 70 calories per 10 minutes isn't a lot compared to the other movements, but it's something to try. And finally, walking. Walking is personally my favorite thing to do because 10,000 steps a day will give you about 400 extra calories burned for that day. The little math in that, but that's approximately what it's going to give you. And you don't really have to be that intense. You just walk throughout your day and get that step count up, and you can be assured that you're burning extra calories. And then aside from aerobic movements and exercises, you should also do some ab work. I already mentioned that you can't spot reduce the fat around here, but by working on your core, working on your abs, you can improve how they look visually by building a little muscle there. So at a higher weight, you don't have to get super scrawny. You can start looking, a little flatter, a little more firm, that kind of stuff. If it's that important to you, really consider doing ab work. Here's a few you can try. You can do things like planks, leg lifts, crunches, butterfly kicks, or Russian twists. Yeah, that's a pretty effective strategy to get rid of belly fat at home. And the next topic we're gonna talk about here is some extreme weight loss methods that you should be avoiding. First, let's talk about how fast you should be losing weight every single week, because I feel like there's some confusion about this in the fitness community and the general public. A lot of the time you're gonna see it's recommended to lose at maximum 2 pounds of body weight each week. Now, there's a big issue with this because 2 pounds for like a 100-pound person is very different from a 200-pound person. Let's look at it this way. Someone who's 100 pounds, if they want to lose 2 pounds of their body weight, that's 2%. Okay, 200 pounds, that's only 1% of their body weight. It's a lot easier to do it at that higher weight. So instead, what's recommended, and what I learned my nutritional certification from NASM, is 0.5% to 1% of your body weight is what you should aim for each week instead of the 1 to 2 pounds. So let's get that out of the way. The first extreme weight loss method that you should be avoiding is fad diets. Fad diets are trendy, nuanced things that come in and out of the whole fitness space. They're trying to use a unique way to lose weight quickly. What's wrong with it is that these things are usually silly concepts like only eating eggs throughout your day. It's not going to create good habits. You're not going to actually learn how to be healthy when you're done with it. Instead, learn how to eat healthy, learn how to pick the right foods, choose things based on not being restrictive, but how it's going to make you feel and how you're going to be in the long term because of those choices in the moment. The next unhealthy thing you should be avoiding is using very low calorie diets. A very low calorie diet can be defined as anything below 1,200 calories because that is the recommended minimum amount you should be eating each day. Below that, you're going to start seeing issues. What's wrong with it is, you can create hormone imbalances. You can disrupt your body functions, ruin your sleep, create bad moods. It's unsustainable too. And if you can't sustain it, you're going to get all those issues. What you should be doing instead is just accepting, you can't do these things really fast without drawbacks. Create a smaller calorie deficit, like 500 calories a day. That's still going to lose you about a pound a week without a lot less effort and more happiness in your life by doing that smaller deficit. The next extreme weight loss method you should be avoiding is over-exercising. A lot of people that over-exercise, what they aim to do is they're trying to burn a lot of calories. They're trying to create a deficit by running 5 miles a day, by working out in the gym 3 hours a day. They're trying to move and move and move to shed the pounds. Now, that's not going to work, and if it does, it's a lot of wasted effort. Now, what's wrong with it is that you cannot outrun a bad diet. A Snickers bar, for example, is 250 calories. You know how much you can expect to burn by running a mile? About 90 calories. So you would have to run almost 3 miles to burn off that Snickers bar. Why don't you just not eat the Snickers bar and save yourself the trouble? Because what you should do instead is you should exercise, but you should also see what you eat. Combine them together and just create that overall healthy lifestyle, and you don't have to kill yourself in the gym to lose some weight. The second to last extreme weight loss method I want you to avoid. I picked this one because I've seen people do it a lot and they don't see any results, and then they think dieting is a joke and they quit. It's juice cleansing. So what that is you're detoxifying your body theoretically, letting your digestive system relax by just drinking juices, smoothies, that kind of thing. Here's the problem. No one wants to just drink juice and drink smoothies all day. It's not fun. You're going to go to the bathroom all the time. You're probably going to have some, bathroom issues, that kind of stuff. It's not sustainable. But if you do sustain it and you do lose a lot of weight, it's probably going to be mostly muscle, which is not what you want to do, because you're not really going to improve how you look, and that's probably what your goal is. The reason you're going to lose mostly muscle is because unless you put like a lot of protein powder in there, there's nothing telling your body to keep the muscle. There's no resources. So all of that is going to be gone. You might end up being skinny fat. What to do instead is just avoid taking shortcuts, okay? What to do instead is just avoid taking shortcuts, because shortcuts tend to lead to short results. Try to lose 10 pounds in a week. You might end up gaining 10 in a month because you keep quitting, binging, and trying back again for the next shortcut. So just get that out of the way and avoid it. The last thing you should be avoiding when you're trying to lose weight is obsessive tracking. This is actually something that I fell prey into when I first lost weight. I was at 184 the first time I lost weight, and I dropped to 160. I did that by planning everything I was going to eat, seeing how much I was going to move, played a lot of basketball as my movement, all that kind of stuff, and it worked for me. Now the issue is, when I was done with that, once I hit my goal weight, I did not know how to sustain a healthy weight without doing all that movement, all that tracking and all that, and I ballooned back up. You know what happened? Without the healthy habits, I went all the way to 195 about 2 years later. I had to learn how to, fix everything. And now I'm at 155, and it was a lot easier than ever before. So yeah, that's what's wrong with it. It's unhealthy. It doesn't create a good relationship with food and exercise. And then you just don't know what to do without it. What to do instead is to have a general idea of where you stand. Weigh yourself every once in a while. See what you're eating. Track what you eat maybe for like a week to give you a good understanding of what good eating looks like. And then unless you want to get six-pack abs, tracking isn't really necessary to maintain a good general health. The last topic we're going to hit today is which fruit is best for dieting. A little random one, but I'm trying to convince some people to add fruit into their diet because they're pretty good, pretty healthy, overall awesome. So you should be adding fruit to your diet because it's low calorie, has a lot of nutrients and vitamins. It has a low glycemic index, meaning it's not going to spike your blood sugar up. Has a lot of antioxidants. What that means is it stops oxidation in your body, which causes things like cancer, other issues. So that's good. Has a lot of fiber, helps your body go through its movements fine. Has a high water content if you struggle drinking a lot of water. And of course, it's tasty and has a lot of variations from bananas to apples to oranges. So here's a little list of things you can add into your diet. Everything is based on 100 grams to keep things equal. First is apples. It has calories 52 per 100 grams. Then you got grapefruits, which is 42 calories per 100 grams. Vitamin C, by the way, is 52% of what you need. Then we got blueberries. Calories per 100 gram is 56. Then we got kiwis, which is freaking crazy because, first of all, 61 calories per 100 grams. But vitamin C is 154% of your daily needs, which is nuts. And then watermelon. This one has a high water content. It's great for a summer day. It's only 31 calories per 100 grams. And then oranges, of course, vitamin C, 88%. Awesome. And then 47 calories per 100 grams. Great for sports, all that kind of stuff. Easy to pack. Then you got bananas, which is great in vitamin C. And vitamin B, which is 20% of what you need per 100 grams. That leads you to 89 calories. And then, of course, everyone's favorite avocado toast thing. 159 calories per 100 grams. Great in healthy fats. Vitamin B 15%, 7% magnesium. And then we got the pears, 57 calories per 100 grams. Strawberries, 33 calories per 100 grams. You can add it into desserts, whipped cream on it, cakes, all that kind of stuff. And then finally, pineapples. You know, calories, 50 per 100 grams. Nice extra thing you can add in there. So yeah, that's what we got today for the podcast. Make sure you tune in next week. Subscribe to keep updated. Who do you want me to put into the next podcast? Maybe I'll do it in a future one. Let me know. Thanks for watching. Peace out.